guys, welcome to another episode of Relationship Talks with Jane. And on this episode, we're going to be taking a quick recap on our two previous episodes, and we are going to dive into today's episode, so stay tuned. So in our very first episode, we talked about the importance of relationship, and we said one of the importance of relationship is how relationship shapes our value system, our exposures, and our experiences. And we also talked about how relationship is an essential part of our life, as it helps in as valuable relationships helps in trying times, helps overcome trying times. And we also talked about how relationships helps us get necessary information that we need in order to carry on with our daily life and so on. You can actually go back to our previous video to have a better understanding of what we talked about. Then in the second episode, we talked about the concepts of relationship. We said there were 4 concepts of relationship. We said we have the hope concept, the definition concept, the knowledge concept, and the God concept. But due to one reason or the other, we could not finish the concepts of relationships in our last video. So before I dive into the continuation from where we stopped, let me take a quick recap also on what we were talking about in the hope and the definition concept. In the hope concept, we said that due to the fact that you had failed marriages, failed work relationships, failed romantic relationships, and you have past traumas from them, we're saying we shouldn't give up on a relationship, and we should hope that somebody better and something better is coming on the way. Relationships should not be given up on. We should keep trying until we get the better one. Good people are still out there, and past traumas shouldn't determine what our conclusion is on how we take relationships. Then moving to the second concept we talked about in the previous video, we said that the second one was definition concept. When purpose is unknown, abuse is inevitable. Under this concept, we categorize our relationship into 2. We have the defined and undefined relationship. And we said it is advisable to define our past and present relationships. We are going to dive into the importance of defining our relationships, and in my notes here I have 5 importance of defining our relationship. The very first one is to set required boundaries and clarify expectations. We have different categories of relationship with others. We have the romantic, we have the work relation. So these categories of relationship will help us to determine the necessary boundaries to be put in place for each person that we are dealing with. The second one is it breeds mutual commitment. When your relationship is being defined, it helps the both parties to know how to be committed to each other, and it helps to reciprocate energy. When, I know that, this is the kind of relationship I have with this person, I know how to do the same. When this person is, helping me to do stuff, I know how to also help the person when the person needs my assistance. And then the next one is there is clear delineation of responsibilities and the rules of engagement. So when your relationship is being defined, we both know how to assist each other, like I said in the previous key point. We both know how to assist each other. We both know our responsibility. When I'm being needed to run errands for you, I do that. And when you are being needed to run errands for me, you also reciprocate the energy. The next one is it brings compatibilities. When you define your relationships, it helps you know if the both parties are compatible, or if their energies are the same and it is complementing each other. Then the final one I have in my notes here is it helps to minimize risk. When you define your relationship with others, the risk will be so limited. Too much expectations from someone you shouldn't be expecting too much from will not happen. So defining relationships will help you reduce risk to the barest minimum, and this will definitely avoid betrayals and denials and what have you. Knowledge is light, just as ignorance is darkness. This quote takes us to the next concept, which is the knowledge concept. Success can be stumbled upon, but sustainable success is determined by knowledge. The knowledge concept entails your desire to want to know more, your desire for effective communication, for right information, and what have you. In a work setting, managers, workers partake in training and development in order to enhance, in order to advance their competencies, and also in order to make their dispensation of activities in the organization much more effective. This concept implies that learning is continuous. We need to keep learning every day in order to improve our competencies in our relationships. As a husband, you tend to listen more. As a wife, you tend to listen more. As a leader at the work setting, you tend to listen more to your workers so that you can know more about them and how well to relate with them. So knowledge is really important in building an effective relationship. Moving to the final concept, which is the God concept. And under this concept, we'll be discussing 3 key points. The very first one is the existence of God. God exists, and I believe in the existence of God. The name God has at its core relationship. The Hebrew interpretation of God shows 3 distinct entities who have equal power and authority, and also have a perfect relationship among themselves. The extension of this perfect relationship led to creation. The second is past historical records have shown that God is involved in man-to-man relationship. And this implies that every man will be judged according to their works. That is, every man will be judged according to their actions and decisions, and how these actions and decisions affect or impact others. In a nutshell, relationship. This calls for us to be conscious on how we relate with others. Are you a leader, husband, wife, a worker, a boss, subordinate? You need to be conscious of how you relate, of how your decisions and actions affect or impact others around you. Because at the end, we will all be judged. The final one is nothing evades God. Due to the fact that you have bad experiences from previous relationships, that doesn't warrant you to carry the weight of that into the present relationships that you're in. For instance, the fact that a person's trust has been betrayed in their previous relationships doesn't mean that they should reciprocate that same energy to the person in a new relationship, because this decision and action will definitely affect the other partner in the present relationship. Do not let the weight of your previous relationship affect your present relationship, because just like we said before, everyone will be judged according to their actions and decisions, regardless of your experiences. We'll finally come to the end of this episode. Thank you for tuning in to this episode and listening and watching. Please subscribe, like, and share this episode. Expect the next episode. Bye.